Don't let this be a deal breaker. Do you love the beach, but you're worried about the flood zones? Don't let the FEMA map be the deal breaker. So whether you're buying a second home, investing in a short-term rental, or finally building your perfect beach home, flood zones are just a part of the picture. But understanding them, that's where smart buying begins. Let's break it down clearly, simply, and from a local's perspective. What is a FEMA flood map? FEMA, which is short for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, creates what are called flood insurance rate maps, or FIRMs. These maps identify areas at risk for flooding based on storm surges, heavy rainfall, tides, and historical data. The different zones are labeled with letters, and here's what they mean. Zone VE means very high. It's the highest risk. This would be a beachfront property that is exposed to wave action and storm surge. If you're financing your property in this zone, flood insurance is required. Of course, if you are a cash buyer, you're not financing the property, that's up to you if you want to carry the flood insurance, but I do suggest it. Next is Zone AE. This is still a high-risk flood zone, but it's without the wave action from the beach. Think of a bay-facing property. These properties still do require flood insurance if you're financing your property. Last is Zone X, which is low to moderate risk. No flood insurance required for lenders or banks, but many owners still choose to carry flood insurance for peace of mind. So how does this affect you as a buyer? We're going to talk about insurance costs, construction rules, financing, and resale. If the home is in a VE or AE zone and you're financing your property, you're going to be required to carry flood insurance. The cost for flood insurance varies from a few $100s to a few $1,000s per year, depending on variables such as the elevation of the home, the structure type, and the exact zone. As far as construction rules, VE zones come with a much stricter building code. For example, here on South Padre Island, some homes in a certain elevation level are required in different communities to be built at a higher elevation. We're going to go into that further when I show you the FEMA flood map in just a bit. As far as financing and resale, lenders will pull the FEMA flood map and require what's called an elevation certificate. This just shows the height of your property where the foundation starts above sea level. And higher flood zones don't automatically scare buyers away, but the higher insurance premiums and stricter building codes can impact resale. So it's good to understand it and know upfront. In Texas, disclosures are required. Sellers, when selling their home, are required to list on the seller's disclosure if they're in a flood zone and if they have had a previous flood on that property. So make sure you and your agent review that seller's disclosure thoroughly. We've got our flood map pulled up. You can go straight to FEMA.gov and pull up your city or a flood map as well. I've got a bright pink cursor for you guys. So here you can see a South Padre Island. So let's zoom in on this and see how FEMA shows us the elevations. Here we go. We've got Zone VE elevation 13, Zone VE elevation 11, and Zone AE elevation 7. So here we are at the city of South Padre Island. You can see the different elevations when we get a little bit closer. Right here you can see we've got Zone VE elevation 14. That's actually in the water, so that's interesting. But right here we've got Zone AE elevation 8. Here is Zone AE elevation 7. We can get a little closer and let's go look at a community. So here's a community that's right off the bay. This is the Laguna Madre. And the white lines show you what it is indicating that is in that zone. So these homes here are required to be built at an elevation of 7. That means 7 feet above sea level. And we will go up a little bit further north on the island. Here again is a community on the bay side, elevation 7. Okay, so now let's go up a little bit further north. You've got your convention center here, and we'll go here to this Shores community. I just kind of wanted to show you here how it's zoned. On the beach side, you can see this is zoned AE elevation 7 for all the areas here. We have Padre Boulevard right down this line. With a pink cursor, you can see that. And on this side is the marina or the bay side. Here's the Laguna Madre. So you've got an elevation 8 here out on these islands. You've got an elevation 7 here. The Shores community requires that you build elevation 9 on this side of Padre Boulevard. When we head over to the beach side, these homes right here are all beachfront. And then you've got that second tier homes. So the requirement in this community is that you build at an elevation 10. And here's a buyer's tip. A home in a VE or AE flood zone does not mean it's a risky buy, but it does mean you need to do a little extra due diligence. You want to look at that prior flood history, the elevation height, and flood insurance quotes. Another thing to consider is the community protection efforts, dunes and seawalls. We have a very active beach shoreline department, and replenishing and protecting the dunes and beaches is something that is a continuous effort here on South Padre Island. And here's a tidbit. Elevation is not just about risk. It can lower your insurance premium significantly. It's important to know that when you purchase a property here on the island, you're going to have some additional disclosures. That's why it's really important to work with a local agent who understands the requirements. You will have an addendum for a coastal area property. You'll also have an addendum for a property seaward of the Gulf Intercoastal Waterway. Bottom line, if you're looking at a property at the beach, it's going to be in a flood zone. That's completely normal. You're at sea level. It just comes with the territory. But it's something definitely to keep in mind when you're looking at your annual homeowner's cost. If you have a question and about what flood zone it falls in, or how it could affect building your beach home, your insurance, or your financing, please reach out. We are happy to help. Hopefully you have a bit better understanding about flood zones and living on the island. Until next time, this is Denise signing off from the shores of South Padre Island.